else here. Hello, welcome back to Licks and Tricks. I'm your host, Ethan Mackowick. My guest today is... Oh, I have no guest. The guest is me. Yes, this is a quarantine special. We're had to do some extra videos, so I'm going to do one just myself. Playing a little guitar, showing you some of the licks, some of the tricks that I use, and trying to make it simplified, and just trying to have some fun with it. So the first thing I kind of want to talk about is rhythm guitar, because rhythm guitar is extremely important for any guitar player. Usually people think it's all about the lead, the fun lead stuff, which is the most fun, but having a good backbone on your rhythm is equally as important and maybe more so. So one thing I've been messing around with a lot is like kind of a funk rhythm, and then on like say like a dominant 7th chord, this is like the normal kind of slightly jazzier dominant 7th chord, E7. You might be more familiar with this one. That's like the bar chord version of it, but I'm going to be messing with this. And then something I like to do is kind of mess with inversions. An inversion is basically just taking whatever note you start with on the chords. In this case, it'd be an E. And then kind of taking a different note from that chord. So let's say we'll do the 7th on top, which would be the D right here, and doing like... Or doing the E again in another fun spot right here with the 7th on top. Or doing another one with the 7th on top. Those are my favorite ones personally, and then the other one up here with the 5th on top. Right there. And kind of just in like a funk groove, messing with those, going different places, kind of trying to make a sort of melody out of the rhythm of those. So let's start with something simple, just like a... kind of grooving on that. So as you can see, just kind of like, this is my home with the E on the bottom. But then I would like to end like a sort of funk phrase with like either this inversion, which is basically just borrowing my finger across the 9th fret with that D on top, or going all the way up here, kind of a stretch, which is like the same shape as your normal D7 that you probably learned a long time ago down here. Just that shape, but you bust it up here. And you can just do a lot of fun stuff with that. Like, it just kind of breaks up a groove. If you feel like you're in a rut of just playing the same chord over and over again in a jam, you can do that, and it's kind of fun. As you can see, you could probably see it before, but we have a shred cam now, so I'll say hi to the shred cam. Hi, little guy. He's so cute on the top of my headstock. So if you see from that angle, just know that cool stuff is probably happening at that moment. Really pay attention. So another thing I like to do in the rhythm department, so that's kind of this. And also you can notice, let's talk about like basic fundamentals. Like when I'm doing like a funk rhythm, I'm keeping my right hand going like that whole time. Like, and that's like very important to have like your motor running, as Corey Wong from Wolfpack says. Have your motor running all the time, and then use your left hand, take your release the pressure off the strings to get like that chicka sound. So like the... and stuff like that really helps you get the rhythm, and you can kind of just be like, oh, I want to release tension at a different time than I was before, kind of give it that weird feel. So you can do like... And you can see there, always the slide up on funk. Stuff like that, always fun. But something a little less funky, but I think is equally as fun. Take the K off funk and you get fun, right? Can't spell funk without fun. oh, geez. Okay, I need a guest to really pull this train together. But something I like to do is more of like a major kind of happy thing, is if you just take, let's say we're in C major, which is one of my favorite keys to make happy tunes. And I like to, instead of doing your regular bar chord like this, where you bar your first finger, you bring your thumb over, and you just take the 3 fingers right here and do this. And it leaves your pinky open to do a lot of fun things. So let's try to figure out one of those fun things. So I'll play it first, what I'm going to do, and then I'll explain it, because it might look a little weird, but basically you go. So basically what I'm doing there is just have the regular C major chord, and then you add on the 6th of that chord, which kind of adds some tension to it. And if you can hear, there's like a little bit of tension and release. And it's just really fun to then also slide up that pinky. And it just gives a little like movement to it, little slidey vibe to it. And you can do that with like basically any major chord. So like at the G, you slide up 3 frets, and then with the F, slide up 2 frets. It's a little tricky because whenever you do that slide up, you don't really want to play the C, because if you do that, you'll slide up to the minor 3rd, and it's going to sound yucky, and that's not going to sound good. So you kind of want to just play like the top strings. So I'm only playing like the top 3. And it doesn't sound great if you like slow it down. It's all about like being really fast with it, like just going up there for a second to get that movement. But I'll do that all the time too. So like Daisy Chain has a new song yet to be released called Can You Feel It? And I'll do that in a minor key, which is it's in C minor. So I'll do something where doing my C minor chord goes to G minor, B flat major, and then to the F, and you can do it. And whenever you start doing this, like I can't stop myself from doing it because it's just so much fun. It's a really great thing to add a little bit of color to your playing. And I hope you can try it out. I hope I explained it well. So basically, just take your pinky on the 6th, and if the sliding's too hard, just play with that pinky too. You can like make a lot of more interesting rhythm and kind of a little bit of a melody in there with your playing instead of just static major chords, which can kind of be a little boring. Let me take a vape break. Vape break. Vape break. Don't do drugs. Off with rhythm, because we're gonna get to the fun part, the lead, licks and tricks. What are some of my favorite licks to play? Licks that I always bust out whenever I can. So I'm predominantly a blues guitarist, so let's start with a nice blues lick for you kids out there, because a lot of guitarists like playing the blues. So say you're in A, playing your dominant 7th chords, do something like that. Cool thing about the blues, you can play the major and minor pentatonic scale over it, and the blues scale. So you can go the major scale, and I threw in the minor 3rd in there because I just like have to nowadays. Or you can just do the minor pentatonic scale, stuff like that. And a way to mix those together in a really fun lick is by one of my favorite guitarists, Derek Trucks. He's a very soulful guitarist. And one lick I cop from him is if you're kind of basing yourself in the A major pentatonic, but then you bring in that minor 3rd and you slide it down so that'd be like from C to B in A. So you start up here and you go. And it just makes a really nice resolution. It's all about you can kind of mess around with the first part first part of it. So like. And that's just a really fun lick. I bust that out a lot. So you can play it up here. Oh, fuck. Messed it up. And it's got a nice, like, homey feel to it. It feels like you're going home with it. It's got like a country vibe. It's got a little blues vibe. Very fun. Another one for your Led Zeppelin fans out there, kind of messing with the same idea of mixing the A major scale with the blues scale. So what you can do, say you're at a dominant 7th chord, or even like straight up A major bar chord down here. What Jimmy Page would do a lot is you would bend the B up to the major 3rd, like maybe hit the E on it, and then you would walk up from the D to the E. And it's just like if you listen to I Can't Quit You Baby, he plays that all the time. He plays it at least twice in that song. And it's just a really sweet lick, and you can kind of figure that out anywhere. You just are playing like the A major scale. So down there, these are the blue notes. Kind of mixing that Derek Trucks thing in there. And since the minor 3rd and the flat 5th, kind of more aggressive notes, you don't want to linger on them too much unless you're doing something a little wild. So I like to just do like those runs with them. So those are really fun. I hope you can take those. One last thing I'll show you is just like a lick I do all the time for some reason. I don't know if I stole it from anywhere, but like basically like a minor pentatonic thing. Let's keep an A. Doing something like that. And I always do this. So you start with your finger on the root, the A up on the B string, and you go. It's all like that first thing. I always pull off. And it kind of just makes like a major chord, a C major chord, but without the bottom C. Another fun thing you can do is you can bend up any note into any other note. It's so much fun. So you can bend up it's B right here in A, bend that up to the minor 3rd. You can bend up the flat 5th. You can do a lot of fun stuff with that. That kind of opened up my eyes till I'd be like, oh man, any note can go into any note. And it's really a fun thing. You can bend the root. A lot of fun stuff you can do on the guitar. It's a very fun instrument. Lets you do a lot of things. When I'm coming home from a long day at work and I want to just pick up the guitar, what's something I play? I did not start saying that because JJ just told me to off camera. But that is a question I always ask my guests. So what do I do? Something I always like doing is Hendrix is a god, and one thing he did really cool is he would play, instead of like E major like this, like the regular bar chord, he would take the E, slide it up 4 frets, and start with the major 3rd. And then what that let you do is you can do a bunch of double stops. Really fun. So something I like to do with that is I'll just play that chord with the E on the bottom, like the whole thing, like. Kind of emulate the same idea on the A. Let's go back to that slide. play it. Very fun. I hope you learned something from this, because I haven't. I knew all this before I showed you. So I hope you had a good time exploring the guitar. I'm your host, Ethan Mackowick. This was Licks and Tricks, the definitive edition. the purest edition. I promise we have other videos with guests. Go check them out. This is just something we had to do during quarantine because Pittsburgh's in another lockdown. So if you guys had fun, make sure to like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Follow Noah Sommers on Instagram. Follow Zach Bird on Instagram. Follow JJ Young on Instagram. And maybe your boy, too. Who knows? Okay. I'll see you later. I'll play you out. Olay. That was a fun one.